I define leadership as empowering others to succeed. It's about building trust, fostering collaboration, inspiring other individuals to reach their full potential.
Welcome to Rise and Stride, where we empower you to take your next step in an ever-changing business landscape. Here's your host, Denise LeDuc-Fleming, President and CEO of the California Society of CPAs.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for another episode of Rise and Stride. With me today is Jessica McLean, CFO of the Girl Scouts Nation's Capital. Prior to landing at the Girl Scouts Nation Capital, Jessica served as controller for Brand USA and has held manager and senior positions at various companies, including Williams, Adley and Company, DC, LLP, Grant Thornton, IBM, and KPMG, along with having served as an adjunct accounting professor at Nicholas College. Jessica was named among the 2023 Most Powerful Women in Accounting by CPA Practice Advisor. Along with having served as an adjunct accounting professor at Nicholas College, Jessica was named among the 2023 Most Powerful Women in Accounting by CPA Practice Advisor, and works to give back to her community and profession by serving as a mentor of Towson University's College of Business and Economics and at AICPA. Jessica, you are a busy lady and you have a family.
Yes, I like to keep myself busy.
And you do. You're very impressive. And, we've met many times and I'm very excited for this conversation and honestly, the opportunity to talk with you. So thank you for taking time to join us.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I'm glad to be here today.
Excellent. So maybe we can first dive into, after all, you're at the Girl Scouts Nation's Capital. Great place to be, making an impact every day. You're with young people all the time. So how did you just get into, the financial aspect of everything and then, landing at the Girl Scouts?
Sure, absolutely. So I was one of those that knew from an early age that I wanted to be an accountant, and I pursued that path. I was initially attracted to the profession because I knew someone that was a tax accountant and made a lot of money. So at a young age, I said, oh, that's where I need to be. But over time, I learned that I was intrigued by just business in general, numbers in business. So I pursued a career in public accounting. I did that for a little over 10 years. And then I decided to transition to the nonprofit space. As you mentioned in my bio, I spent some time at Brand USA, which is a 501c6 organization. And then about 2.5 years ago, I had the honor of becoming the CFO of Girl Scouts Nation's Capital. And I always love to say the largest Girl Scout council in the nation. And it's so fascinating to me because I grew up as a Girl Scout in this council. I have a young daughter that just turned 5 herself, and I'll be signing her up for Girl Scouts soon as well. And so I'm so excited to see her journey with Girl Scouts. And it's been a great journey so far for me.
That's great. You usually don't hear that, right? When we talk to other CPAs and when did you just decide you want to be a CPA? And a lot of times they'll say it found me, right? They didn't know, or they didn't have access to other accountants to really influence them. But it sounds like you did. You knew a tax accountant and you just knew that that's what you wanted to be based on the success of that other individual.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that. That someone was telling me their story that they saw a movie. I can't remember the name of it, but they saw an accountant on there, was very successful and lived in this big house. And they're like, I want to be an accountant. So clearly that's what we need to do going forward to kind of have helped get those kids, in the pipeline.
Absolutely. That's what we need to do. We're driving the pipeline here. We're trying to fill it up.
We are trying to fill it up. So true. Maybe I can just ask you too, because you describe yourself as operating at the intersection of accounting and social impact, which I think is so interesting. So maybe you can tell us kind of what that means to you and what that real intersection is.
Absolutely. As you shared early on, I have a passion for the accounting profession, very involved at a national level, at the state level with the profession and all that we're doing. And at the same time, I have a passion for wanting to have a positive impact on people's lives. And so this brought me to the nonprofit space. And specifically at Girl Scouts, I have the privilege of using my accounting skills my accounting knowledge and expertise in a way to help young girls thrive. Even in my role as a CFO for our Girl Scout Council, I've had the opportunity to engage with members of our Girl Scout community. I've attended troop meetings. I've seen our young members at camp, experiencing summer camp, and even had the amazing opportunity to just share the transformative impact of the Girl Scout cookie program on TV interviews. For me, it's all about championing the mission of Girl Scouts. And so to be at a point where I found my niche of, again, that accounting passion that I have, but also the work I like to do in the social impact space.
Yeah, that's always interesting because it helps with your work and getting up every day, right? If you really have a passion for what you're doing, and maybe you can just help our listeners. How do you identify that passion, or how do you kind of find that intersection for yourself? Because I too, I love what I do. I love the volunteer piece, the connecting and to the profession, and kind of moving forward on initiatives that you couldn't ordinarily do if you had only three people. Now we have an army, right? So how would you kind of guide those our listeners to say this is how you have to go about kind of finding that intersection? Any advice you have for that?
Sure, no, absolutely. As you mentioned, I become energized with the work, and so that's how I know it's a passion. It doesn't feel draining, even though at times it's meetings, it's going to conferences, it's traveling to see troops, but I get energy from it. So that's how I knew for me it was a passion. I don't wake up every day saying, "Oh my gosh, here we go again." It's another day. Maybe it'll be a challenging day ahead, but it's another day of great opportunity, excitement to kind of, again, to continue to move our mission forward. And so that's how I've defined that passion. And being able to bring two aspects of what I do together is absolutely awesome.
No, I could see that. I mean, being so energized with these young individuals, right, that are really looking to you to help them succeed, right, and to guide them going forward.
So true.
Just curious because I heard, I don't know what the statistic was exactly, but that there's over 70% really of the Girl Scouts or more than that go into like business leaders, whatever they're doing, they're actual leaders in their community. Is that the case? And, you know, what is really critical as far as that is in getting these young girls to, find that passion and really be successful?
Sure, absolutely. There was a recent article with the national CEO, and it talked about how, who knows, within Girl Scouts, we're nurturing those future business leaders. We don't know the future CEO of a Fortune 500 company that's out there leading firms, leading government, leading in our educational institutions. Um, as part of our mission, we are building girls of courage, confidence, and character. We are giving the leadership skills that they need to be successful in life. We hope that the experiences they have, the journeys and the path that they take are going to be what helps them succeed in the future. Um, and that's what we're about at Girl Scouts. It is a girl-led and girl-driven organization because they know what they want. They are very passionate and boisterous of what they need to be successful, and that's what we're here to do.
I love that you said courage, confidence, and character.
Yes.
It has kind of all the pieces you need, right, to be successful and feel fulfilled, honestly.
And that's a great word, radio fulfilled. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I love that. So, when you're talking about that, I'm thinking about mentoring because that's what you're really doing. You're mentoring, right? These young ladies. And so, how do when you think about mentoring, really, where does that passion come from in you? And then what mentors have you had? Because I think would say we all probably have had a kind of a hand up, right? To help us to where we're getting. We didn't get there alone. And so what mentors would you credit to say they've really helped me get to where I am?
Sure. For the first part of your question, I would say my passion about mentorship came from just understanding the benefits of it. The more I immerse myself in mentorship opportunities, the more that passion grew. I've been able to see firsthand how mentorship can empower individuals to unlock their full potential and create meaningful change. Um, Moreover, I've come to understand that mentorship is a reciprocal relationship because both the mentor and the mentee benefit from mutual learning and growth. I have engaged in mentorship roles myself, formally and informally, and I discovered the fulfillment, as you mentioned before, that comes from making that positive impact on someone's life, contributing to their success. Um, I've helped young professionals on their CPA journey, help them navigate job changes, prepare for new promotions. For me personally, mentors have been an integral part of my journey. My gosh, they have provided guidance, shared knowledge, experiences. They've offered me encouragement during challenging times. Their support has been invaluable because it's helped me refine my skills, go after those big goals, and stay motivated on my journey. And so I would tell anyone the importance of membership is are great. Because again, whether you're the mentee or the mentor, you learn either way.
You do. It's so true. And it's, whatever side you're on, you do have a responsibility, right? To either come prepared or else to prepare to talk to um, your mentee. I mean, from both perspectives.
Yes, so true.
Yeah, I find it so enriching. I was I mentored, a number of individuals, and I've had many mentors. I would not be where I'm at without, I call it my personal board. But there are individuals, right, that hold you accountable and can say things to you that other people can't, and really keep you on the straight. I would say
Yes.
sometimes it's hard to navigate and to know where you're going is the right path forward.
And like you said, you cannot take this journey alone. And no one reaches the height of success on their own. And mentors have a place and purpose.
Exactly. Yeah, anybody who tells you they did it on their own, be suspicious, I would
Ah,
say.
there you go, that professional skepticism. I'm not an auditor anymore, but it's still there.
I like that professional skepticism. It is, right? You're always thinking, is that right or not? You need a lot of that today. That's
Yes.
for sure in the world we're in. So maybe I can, shift a little to like D&I belonging, because we've been talking about that. I mean, on AICPA's side, state societies, no matter who you talk to, right? We're talking about how do we create and engage as many individuals as we can, make sure it's a diverse profession and that we have all voices that are heard, because that's how we're going to be the best we can be, and only that
Mhm.
way. So knowing that, why do you think, I just like to get your perspective, that we have, you know, minorities are just more underrepresented in our profession, especially, I believe, as we move up the, partners and so forth. We need to do a better job at engaging and also keeping and retaining, right? So maybe you can give us your thoughts on that and your perspectives.
So I'll start with the underrepresentation of not just African Americans, but various minority groups in our profession. It's a combination of factors. We could take it back to some of the individual barriers that certain minority groups face when it comes to accessing quality education and resources. And this is even before thinking about pursuing any type of career, let alone accounting. Um, as Whether it's people of color, women, those on the gender spectrum, at times when they enter the profession, they face bias and discrimination. And these create barriers to entry and advancement, whether it's unbiased conscious in hiring, promotion processes, retention. This can result in qualified individuals being overlooked and unfortunately leaving our profession and never given the opportunity to move up. We briefly touched on this one as well, as the lack of diversity within leadership. When you can't see it, it's hard to believe that you can do it. And so minority groups sometimes struggle to envision themselves within our profession, let alone within leadership roles. The last piece I will add, as far as a factor within this underrepresentation, is it's a little bit more difficult at times for some groups to have the access to networking opportunities. It can hinder our ability to access whether it's job opportunities, mentorship opportunities, internship opportunities, in a college and other resources as well. And there's things we need to do if we want to move the needle in the right direction. And if we can address some of these factors, I'm very optimistic that we can do that.
And I assume because you're in AICPA leadership positions, I mean, you were named the top 100, weren't you? Women in or leaders in the profession?
Sorry, most powerful women last year was top. Yes.
Yes. So knowing your position and how you can influence, maybe you can share with me, what is the one or two things that we can do, Cal CPA or other leaders to really help move that needle forward? Is there something that comes of mind?
Sure, absolutely. I think of two things, and I know your society and others as well. When we talk about the education and the resource perspective, providing scholarships, financial support, whether it's to pursue a CPA license, um, the mentorship opportunities as well, because that's very important for individuals in the professional journey. Um, many state societies do a great job of this as well, as facilitating those network and professional development opportunities. Again, opening the doors of access, whether it's hosting those networking events, executive coaching, other leadership development opportunities and initiatives, because this fosters connections and supports individuals through career advancement.
Now, and those are I mean, you did the Leadership Institute, right? Through AICPA as Leadership Academy.
Yeah, Leadership Academy class of 2020.
Yep, leaders and those I will say those cohorts, even ours that we have our Leadership Institute, those cohorts are very close knit and powerful. And they always each one thinks they're the best. That's what I
It's always that internal battle, but you're right. The group of individuals, those that are Leadership Academy graduates, they are a tremendous support system. And again, we are helping drive the future of the profession, and that's so important.
You truly are. I mean, your group is very powerful and influential, and we look to you. I mean, honestly, to see where we should move to and what we should leverage and to move forward. And those were really great um some kind of steps of how we can move forward and just open that access. I think that is key is really having that availability. So really good perspective. Maybe we can shift and just your experience, because you've had so much different experience, different companies, for profit, nonprofit. So, what has been the biggest challenge or surprise to you where you say, Gosh, I never thought that would be, or surprise in a good way? That's really great.
The biggest surprise is that I thought I had to have my entire 40-year working career figured out when I started my career at KPMG. When I started my career in the profession over 15 years ago, I thought I was going to be a partner at a firm. That was just the end goal, and is what I was working towards. But when I had my first child about 5 years ago, I realized that path was no longer for me. It took me some time to figure out my next step. And I believe now where I am, again, at that intersection of accounting and social impact, I've found my sweet spot. And with that, I will add that a career is not a ladder. I've heard when someone referred to it as a jungle gym. And they say because a jungle gym, you're flexible in how you can move sideways, backwards, downwards. And that is so important when you think about your career. Because again, for most of us, it's 40 plus years. And you have to have that mindset because it's about adaptability, resilience, your willingness to embrace change and uncertainty. Those are very important when you talk about professional growth and advancement.
You said a lot there. I hope our listeners were taking some notes because there was a lot of really good nuggets in there. And the one, I mean, I took some notes and highlighted, but the many pathways, I think that's so important because I hear from young professionals a lot of times, well, I just opted out of the profession because I didn't think there was a different pathway for me. And it's so sad because there are so many pathways And you took a different one. I did too. I took an unconventional. So I think that's so important for everyone just to remember.
We have to go beyond people thinking all we do is taxes. When I speak to whether it's college students or our young professionals, I say we within the accounting profession, we are everywhere. We are a part of business. Business does not succeed and is not sustained without us. So wherever you have a passion or an interest, there is work that you can do in that world as an accountant. Whether it's the type of service you provide or the industry that you work in, the opportunities are boundless. And we have to get out of that rigid mindset again of just taxes or audit. Oh, it goes so much more beyond that.
So true. Do you find when you go to, if you're on a board or you go to an organization, they're like, you can be on the audit committee. That's like the first, first role you get. And I'm like, I love the audit committee, but there's other things I like too.
No, absolutely. I was recently approached for an opportunity to be on the board of a charter school. And they talked about the various committees, and I don't have the capacity to handle a board role right now, but they mentioned the opportunity to be on an academic committee. And I appreciated the individual I was talking with, and that I do the risk and the governance and the accounting all day long, that I can bring some other perspective as well, which is important. So yes, we can do the audit work, and we do that every day, but there's other work and things that we can do and provide perspective outside of that as well.
Hmm. Yeah. And just to reiterate too, we aren't just taxes, right? Taxes are important. And
Yes,
I love
very.
doing taxes, but there's many other things, right? So we just have to keep that in mind and make sure we tell that story out there.
I could not agree more.
That's yeah. So, from a leadership perspective, we talk a lot about leadership on the podcast, and we always like to get from our listeners, what it means to you, but you're involved in leading in so many different roles and organizations. So, how would you define leadership? What's at the core? You said some of it. What's at the core of it for you?
I define leadership as empowering others to succeed. Again, that positive impact that I have to have on people. It's about building trust, fostering collaboration, inspiring other individuals to reach their full potential. In going through my leadership journey, I had to shift my mindset from being a doer to being more of a facilitator or a coach of sorts. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I want to be surrounded by people that bring a wealth of diverse perspectives, because as you mentioned before, that's how organizations truly succeed and reach their full potential. Leadership, it's been a journey. It's been a lot of trial and error, many lessons learned. And I tell people I am still growing as a leader because it's a journey, not a destination. And with that, I've learned the value of humility, acknowledging that I do not have all the answers, that there is always room for improvement. And this mindset has allowed me to approach leadership with an open mind because I want to seek feedback. I want opportunities for self-improvement. So my journey has been ever evolving. It's ongoing, and I see each day as an opportunity to learn and grow.
I really like inspiring others, right, to reach their goals and to lead. That is at the heart of it, right?
Yes, no, yes, it is. That's the difference between a manager and a leader. Very different.
So true. And it's hard. I made some of the switch. It's very hard because when you do things, you check it, like it feels really good. And other times when you're leading, to your point, Jessica, did I make an impact today? I hope so. Did I did I add value? Right? It's not as easy to define. And I think that's maybe where some people struggle.
Yes, and also just the understanding that leadership it's not easy. At times you have to make tough decisions. You have to have difficult conversations. It's not always happy, rosy time. Being a leader means, again, making those tough decisions and difficult conversations. And that's what it means. But in the overall aspect of it, it truly is about helping people reach their fullest potential, because I always say I'm only as successful as those that work for me. When I make them successful, there I go. I got it.
Very wise, Jessica. I hope people are taking good notes. That's all I have to say. So we're getting near. I have two other questions for you. The one would be, what advice would you give to young professionals out there who are looking for leadership roles or just trying to, kind of navigate the jungle gym of their career? And I love that. That's a really good visual.
I would suggest, and just across the board, the importance of networking and building connections. They are very critical to success. So you are going to need advocates, sponsors, mentors, cheerleaders, coaches, because like we talked about before, no one reaches the height of success on their own. You need people that are going to pour into you, that are going to speak up for you when you're not in the room. And I will share that when I became more intentional in my networking, so many doors opened for me. So I recommend, I tell anyone, take the time to invest in your network, because when you're purposeful about it, the return on your investment is great.
Yeah, what Ty always says, Taika Dennis, right, who was our past chair, she says, your network is your net worth.
Ty's right on it. She's right on.
It's right on, right? And I like the way you said that, pour into you, because you need that.
Yes,
And it'll
absolutely.
speak out for you when you're not in the room. That's huge. That's a really big deal. If you can get people that will do that, and there is a lot of people who will do that out there. You just have to ask.
And you mentioned the key word is asking. It's about advocating and telling people what you want. My husband says he's not a mind reader, and I've had to learn that others are not mind readers as well. And that when there's something that you want to pursue, an opportunity that you want to go after, tell people. You'd be surprised the number of people that'd be willing to help you on that journey.
That's a good reminder too. People aren't mind readers. So you gotta tell them. And most of the time they'll help.
You're absolutely right.
That is great. So one last important question.
Okay.
What is your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
The infamous question.
I'm sure you get that wherever you go. What is your favorite?
That, or if I have cookies.
Oh, I'm sure you get that when you're out. Yes.
Yes, I do. I grew up loving Thin Mints. That was my favorite cookie. But it changed a few years ago when the Girl Scouts introduced a new cookie back in 2022. It's called the Adventureful. It is a brownie-inspired cookie with caramel filling. There's a little bit of sea salt on top with some chocolate drizzle on top. My gosh, they are so delicious. I pop them in the freezer. I go grab me about 4, 5, or 6 from time to time. But love that cookie. Oh my goodness. I still love Thin Mints. They're a great one as well, but Adventureful, that's my new one.
Adventureful. And put them in the freezer, it sounds like.
Yes. It's so delicious, Denise. You got to try it. You got to try it.
I'm going to have to try them. Apps, because I'm a Thin Mint. I always had the Thin Mints, even to crunch them, over ice cream or something.
That's delicious as well.
Always good.
Great.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with whatever one you have.
No, they're all great. We touch many different palettes of taste out there with our cookies.
You certainly do. Certainly do. Well, this has been such a delight to talk to you, and so much good advice. I hope everyone took notes or listens again the second time and get some of your tips and your insights, because you are, a leader in the profession and someone that is good to connect with. So be part of your network for sure. Jessica's one. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Denise. I appreciate the opportunity, and I wish the best of luck to your audience.
Thank you.
Rise and Stride is produced by the California Society of Certified Public Accountants. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And if you enjoy the show, leave us a rating and review. To learn more, visit calcpa.org.